All right, let's talk about Marcion. He is one of the most influential and controversial early Christians. Marcion lived in the 2nd century, and he felt like that the God of the Old Testament is not the God that Jesus was talking about. He saw the Old Testament God as harsh and legalistic, and believed that Jesus revealed a different God, one of love and mercy. This wasn't just Marcion with a hot take. He ended up growing and having a real following called the Marcionites. They spread across the whole Roman world, setting up churches, and lasted for centuries. This was a serious rival form of Christianity. Marcion also produced one of the earliest Christian canons. What's wild is that it excluded the whole Old Testament and included a shortened version of Luke and a couple of letters from Paul. But even in those, he eliminated all of the Jewish elements. Obviously, the church rejected Marcion and called him a heretic. But something ironic did happen there. Marcion's movement actually forces Christians to define what counts as scripture and how Christianity related to Judaism. So in a real sense, Marcion didn't just get rejected. He helped shape the New Testament by challenging it. For people that haven't studied the history that starts right after the New Testament era, you might be under the assumption that the New Testament kind of formed seamlessly, like it just fell out of the sky perfectly for the early Christians. Marcion is just one example of many of how early Christians had different versions of Christianity floating around. The main version that we have today just happens to be the one that won out. The point is, between 100 AD and 400 AD, it was like the Wild West. And while Marcion may go down as a villain to the Orthodox Church, his story gives us a real glimpse into early Christianity. Like always, drop down in the comments, tell me what you think, and I will be back with more ancient history and breakdowns of the Bible.